Hello, hello. This is Ashley. We're going to be doing the weekly love quickies for each of the zodiac signs. I will be time stamping down below in the description box so you can kind of jump around to your specific sun, moon, rising, or Venus placements. I'm going to start with water. We'll do fire, earth, and then air. And in the last couple of love quickies that I filmed, it cuts me off and then wants to upload as two separate videos. So I'm just going to beat it to the punch. And so for the first video, we'll do water and fire. And then for part 2, we'll do earth and air. And I will go ahead and link part 2 at the end of this video. And I'll put that in the description box as well. So we're going to get started with water. I've pre-shuffled the oracle decks I'm going to be using. We have the Priestess of Light and then the Hidden Truth Oracle. And then I'll be pulling some tarot for each one as well. So we'll get started with water. So Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces for the week of August 20th. Cancer, whoops, not gonna take pop off. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Alright, so Cancer, we are getting the Divine Masculine. It says electric and active power. And we're also getting, I know I messed up everything. Interesting. Scorpio, we're getting sensuality, feminine wisdom and passion. And sometimes I stay awake thinking about you. Interesting as well. Let's hope I have, let me scoot these over. I don't have enough space to lay these out. And then for Pisces, we are getting touching earth, so planting something new, and it's time for me to heal now. All right. Cancer, King of Cups, Queen of Swords, and the Magician. Scorpio is getting the Five of Pentacles, the Emperor, and the Lovers. Oh my. And Pisces is getting the Five of Cups, the Tower, and the Six of Swords. Okay, Cancer. So Divine Masculine, I know I messed everything up. And then we have the King of Cups, the Queen of Swords, and the Magician. So I feel like this message is coming from the Divine Masculine. I know I messed up everything. I like to preface that with, that does not mean male or female. You can be in a relationship as a man and not be the Divine Masculine. And you can be the Divine Masculine as a woman. So take that as it resonates for your situation. So we have a King of Cups, could be dealing with a Scorpio, Queen of Swords, and the Magician. So I think that probably what's happened here with this Divine Masculine is, I don't feel like they were all that open with their feelings. So the King of Cups can have, you know, intense intuition and emotional aspect to him, but he's often really does a really good job at hiding those emotions. And I do kind of feel like with the Magician here, there may have been some emotional manipulation in this particular dynamic, likely coming from the Divine Masculine energy. And it does feel like the feminine energy here has cut this out, has maybe spoken their truth and put an end to this relationship. I also kind of feel like this feminine energy, whoever's playing that role, is now in the process of manifesting something new for themselves. So I do feel like with the King of Cups here, this Divine Masculine has a lot of love for the Divine Feminine in this dynamic. I just think that maybe in the past they have not shown that maybe as well as they could have. And in fact, they may have also been a bit cutting in their communication style, right? And so yeah, I think that's what's going on there. I do feel like with the Magician here, and this active power coming through for this Divine Masculine card, I do feel like this masculine may be trying to manifest the feminine once again. So, but it almost feels like kind of a confession. I know I messed up everything. So it sounds like in one of the realms, perhaps not the 3D quite yet, this masculine is taking some ownership of their behavior in the past. So keep an eye out. I kind of feel like that person's going to come forward again with that Magician energy. All right, Scorpio. This kind of cracks me up. We have sensuality, feminine wisdom, and passion, and sometimes I stay awake thinking about you. So I do get a lot of sexual energy from this. It could be that this person is fantasizing about you. It does feel like, again, that this may be the Divine Masculine. We do have the Emperor coming in. So with the Emperor coming in with this feminine sensuality, I think that there's obviously an intense attraction here. This could again be, if I could pick up the cards, this could again be a twin flame scenario, because to me this feels like Empress energy here. Could also see this as like the Strength card. So something about the feminine in this dynamic is really attractive, not just physically, but I think her confidence is also what is so attractive. So I feel like somebody is fantasizing about you, Scorpio. And I do feel like, again, with the Lovers, this could be a strong, strong soul connection. I'm also getting a lot of sexual energy off of that card. You see the fire in the background? And it's kind of like, it almost like in the camera, as I'm looking at the screen on the camera, it looks like kind of like an explosion coming up out of this new growth here. But we do have the Five of Pentacles, so at some point, I think part of why there's fantasizing taking place, it says sometimes I stay awake thinking about you, is because there's been a rejection of some kind. I'm almost certain that you're already picking up on that energy from this person. Perhaps the rejection was because they were, you know, just being overly controlling. or almost unemotional in their approach. And that could have been something that threw you off. And so it does feel like there's a lot of pondering going on there. So I wouldn't be surprised if this particular masculine also reaches out to you, Scorpio. And then we have Pisces. Let's see what's going on here. Planting something new. It's called Touching Earth. And it's actually like an angel that is touching the earth. And where this angel is touching the earth, there's like, it's starting to glow beneath his hands. We also have It's Time for Me to Heal Now. And we have the Five of Cups, the Tower, and the Six of Swords. So some sort of intense revelation here. There's a lot of regret coming through from this person. And it does feel like one or both of you has attempted to move on from this relationship. But I think something about your departure has caused this Tower moment for them. You can kind of see this Tower is quite intense in its depiction, instead of just like a lot of the Tower cards in Rider-Waite or even in other decks are like a lightning strike coming down onto the Tower. And this one also has a tornado coming down on top of the Tower. And so it does feel like a lot of maybe heated arguments, a really passionate dispute took place, and it resulted in a departure. Like someone here, I feel like it's probably you, Pisces, moved on from this. But I think in you moving on from this, they are kind of forced into their healing process. Like I feel like part of what may have happened here was a healing on your part, kind of forced you to see things differently. And so this like shocking departure took place, and that is what woke them up to their own need for healing. Now, one thing I will say is that with this card, it's almost like the Ace of Pentacles energy. And so I do feel like a new beginning is happening. Specifically for you, Pisces, as I'm noticing on the Six of Swords that the guide has 4 swords in his like backpack or basket that's tied to his back. And there's only 2 swords at the front of the boat here. And so that 4 of Swords is like not speaking, but it's also healing energy. And so I feel like you're headed in a new direction, but I also feel like this person is headed in a new direction when it comes to their healing. So I really don't feel like this whole story is over yet. And there could very well be a revisit down the line once some of their healing has taken place. So that's what I'm getting for the water signs. And we will move on to fire. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. I'm going to shuffle these a few times here just so we're good to go. Leo, Sagittarius for the week of August 20th. And with that full moon that we have coming up on Sunday, if you haven't watched the full moon collective reading I did, it did have a lot of love focus, oddly enough, as one of the alignments, so you might check that out. I'll try and remember to link that video at the end of this as well. So for this week's Love Quickies, it could very well be that that full moon's playing a big part in what's coming through. All right. Let's see. Aries. Ooh, interesting. We're getting telepathy, transmission, perception, and communication. And it was my fault, but I blamed you. Okay. Leo, we're getting clairvoyance, inspiration, interpretation, and trust. You can see this woman looks like she is scrying into a bowl here. And I look for you everywhere. So someone's clearly trying to connect on a 5D level. And Sagittarius, we're getting power over difficulty, reclaiming your power. And I'm starting to understand our connection. All right. So Aries. Leo. Sagittarius. All right, Aries. We have the Devil, the Three of Pentacles, and the Death card. And telepathy. So essentially, some sort of telepathic, or it almost looks like, see how she's got this like white light swirling around her coming down from above. There's definitely like third eye going on here, but there's also like this really interesting circle around her heart space. And we do have also the wolf depicted in this card. So to me, for this specific reading, it feels like kind of like that lone wolf energy coming through. Now this is a card 22, so this could very well be a strong soul connection. It says, it was my fault, but I blamed you. And that's clearly what's coming through here. It looks like there was an end to a connection that took place, but the devil energy was clearly playing a role in this ending. Could have been not just blaming, kind of like gaslighting. Perhaps they not only blamed you, but, you know, told other people that you were to blame. But it led to, there was an ending that took place here, the Death card. And it was certainly some sort of collaborative type of relationship here. It's almost as if perhaps you were the one doing a lot of the work here. You can see only one of these people is painting, and the other two are kind of standing back and, you know, in observer mode, just like kind of keeping an eye on how it goes. And so it does kind of feel like not only did they blame you, I kind of feel like maybe they brought forward some of that lone wolf energy. I almost don't feel like there was a strong commitment from this person to begin with. And, you know, as a result, they went into that devil energy. So it could have been like lying, toxic behavior. But it does feel like, I almost feel like with this telepathy card, I do feel like perhaps you're aware of this and they're aware that you're aware. If that makes sense. Like, there's some sort of 5D communication going on between you. There could actually be a lot of dream space activity. So pay attention to that. Or sort of like, it's like you think of this person out of nowhere. Or like at times that don't make sense. Like when you're in the middle of working or something and then they come through. I think it's because they're thinking about you quite a bit. So hopefully that was helpful, Aries. Let's move on to Leo. Clairvoyance, inspiration, interpretation, and trust. Could be dealing with a clairvoyant. You could be dealing with someone that is particularly skilled in their clair gifts. So clairvoyance, clairaudience, could actually be dealing with a psychic. Doesn't have to be, but it does look like it's interesting as she's looking into this. I'll set those down. She's looking into this scrying bowl, and it says, "I look for you everywhere." So it could be that this person is not only looking for signs and synchronicities when it comes to you, Leo. It can also be that they are seeking guidance from a psychic. But part of what I feel like plays more into that is we have the moon, the 9 of Wands, and the 9 of Cups. So with the moon and the 9 of Cups here, that's a lot of water, intuitive energy, specifically with the moon here. You may be dealing with someone that is pretty frequently tapping into their intuitive side. Could be a Cancer or a Pisces. But I also feel like this person's guard is really up. It's almost like even if they're getting messages that come through that ring true to their intuition, they're guarded against it. I feel like there had to have been some kind of falling out between the two of you. I think at some point you were one another's dream come true. And it could be that the person that is thinking of you and looking for you and everything, that is on some subliminal level their dream come true. It's what they're attempting to manifest, whether they're conscious of it or not. But I think, I actually think both of you are pretty guarded. This could very well be your energy, with it being the wand. So interesting. It kind of does feel like there was probably a lot going on under the surface in this relationship. And there could be something specifically coming up that sheds some light closer to the full moon with the moon card here. So I would keep an eye out for that as we get further into the weekend. You could be getting some kind of communication from this person. All right, Sagittarius, we have an interesting one here. I'm starting to understand our connection. And this one is quite the artwork here. It says power over difficulty. And this woman, it looks like she's near a full moon, or the full moon is in the background. She has antlers, she has snakes, she has a stag. There's 2 swans down here at the bottom. So it could very well be a strong soul connection that this is referring to. I don't think you'll be able to see it on camera, maybe. I've never drawn this card. Like I said, this is a new deck for me, but those 2 swans at the bottom stand out. So somebody here is clearly coming to a new understanding of what this soul connection was. And I feel like they are reclaiming their power to manifest something with you. Now we have the Knight of Cups, the Ace of Pentacles, and the 3 of Swords. I do feel like there was some sort of heartbreak in the past in this connection. So this, I feel like this is a past person. And I think they're coming forward with an apology and an offer for a new beginning here. Something about this disconnect that took place, they've had some kind of revelation that is bringing them in. And it does feel like this will probably be somewhat of an emotional speech that they want to give you. So heads up on that. I mean, Ace of Pentacles, I mean, certainly up to you, but the Ace of Pentacles is a solid new beginning that this person is seeking with you. And it's interesting, right here at the bottom, there are just 2 bees. And so I do feel like this is probably a strong soulmate type connection with those 2 swans, the 2 bees. And could even be twin flame here because of this, almost like this awakening this person has experienced as a result. But something about this, the way she's kind of holding her hands, it's making me think of the Magician energy. So I do feel like they are going to attempt to not only communicate, but I think they're trying to use this connection as a way of drawing you in, so to speak. So I hope that was helpful. So I'm going to go ahead and end part 1. I'm going to go ahead and go over to part 2, where we'll do earth and air signs, and I will link part 2 at the end of this video. Please like, subscribe, leave me a comment if any of these placements resonated with you. Looks like it's going to be an interesting weekend in the love department. So I will see you in part 2. Bye.